Welcome to our first ever episode of Between Two Berms, the podcast covering all things Omaha Storm Chasers related, and sometimes even completely unrelated. I am Scott Pop, your host, joined by my effervescent co-host, Andrew Asbury. Andrew, how are you doing?
Doing great. How you doing, Scott?
Oh, not too bad. I'm pretty excited about this new podcast. Should be a good time.
Should be. Obviously, lots going on with the Omaha Storm Chasers, not just in season, but during the off season. We're always planning and doing some new things, and this is one of those new things that we thought we'd kind of hop into. And you see podcasts everywhere. One of my favorites being from the Ringer.com, their podcast network. We listen to our fair share of podcasts, I'd say.
We sure do.
We figured, you know what? Why can't we do that?
I agree, and we want to give some behind the scenes, a little background from what we do here, and maybe some insider info on Storm Chasers, Royals, anything Omaha related. Give them a brief go around of what few topics that we have on the docket.
For sure, just a few upcoming ones that we know of are the winter meetings. Winter meetings are just around the corner. We're going to look at it from a couple different perspectives, one of which being from the employment side. I was hired at the winter meetings. We have a couple other employees here that were hired from the winter meetings, and we have our own stories to tell. And maybe some tips and tricks on what people should look into and take with them to the winter meetings if they are a job searcher. So there's that, and we're hopefully going to get some special guests on and talk a little hot stove, talk a little winter meetings free agency, how that might affect the Omaha Storm Chasers moving forward, and maybe get some fun stories about when some Storm Chasers were called up to the Royals. So that might be a little bit of a hint on who that special guest might be.
All right, that sounds like a great few episodes to start off with. If you're wondering why we're called Between Two Berms, we're big fans of Between Two Ferns, Zach Galifianakis show. This really has nothing to do with that in the slightest, but we have two berms out there, right?
We do. It is a staple, I would say, in Warner Park. You come out here, it's a very open, spacious ballpark, and you look out in the right and left field, and as soon as the outfield fences end, you see more grass, which is our berms, and our fans come out there, lay out their picnic blankets. It's a great view from out there, and it really builds the atmosphere in Warner Park.
So we figured we would go into a little bit about ourselves, just so you listeners know who we are. Andrew, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Grew up south of Kansas City by about 30 minutes or so. Went to college at the University of Arkansas. Go Hogs!
Nope.
You might see some of our baseball teams come up here to Omaha every year. But I went to winter meetings, like I said, back in 2016. Got hired by the Storm Chasers, and been working my way up ever since. And now I'm the marketing and promotions manager.
Give me some of your daily duties, what you do around here at the ballpark.
Yeah, so front office work, pretty much overseeing the entire marketing department, social media, email, our graphics, pretty much everything that we do marketing-wise I have a hand in. And during games, you might have seen me, if you've been out before, helping with the promo team, getting up on the dugout, doing some of those fun things, interacting with the fans.
Dancing on camera?
I do my best. I don't claim to be a dancer of any sort, but the job requires it, so I suck it up and do it.
You love it.
Maybe a little bit. So enough about me, though. What about you? What about you, Scott? What do you do on a daily basis in the office during game days? You have a little bit more of an important job than most of us on game days. Share a little bit about that.
I guess so. I'm also from Kansas City. I went to K-State, graduated in 17, then moved up here in February of 18 as an associate, and now I'm the video and multimedia coordinator. So yeah, most of my job is during games I run the control room, so the productions for the games, all the video on the video board and the audio and cameras, our live stream, that sort of thing. Do you do some of those fun little themed player pictures up there on the board on Harry Potter night or Star Wars night and stuff like that? Oh yeah, if you like those, that was all me. I Pretty much everything that goes on there is me, unless it's a commercial or an ad of some sort. But yeah, that's mostly what I do. I also shoot some video and make graphics occasionally. It just depends.
Yeah, obviously we're always working on some great video content. Hopefully you like our upcoming stuff.
I also produce this podcast.
Add it to the resume.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So since we don't have a topic today, it's going to be nice and short, but we still wanted to get a few fun, random questions in here, just so you guys can learn a little bit more about ourselves and probably disagree with us about what we think. All right, we'll start with the first one here. One's got to go. Laser tag, bowling, mini golf, or go-karts? For me, this is easy.
One's got to go. I got to get rid of laser tag.
Wrong choice.
I love bowling. I'm not great at it. I love it. Mini golf. I don't consider myself a golfer, but I do enjoy it. And go-karts, dude, it's live action Mario Kart.
Go-karts are the best. That's the best option on that list.
Of the four, absolutely.
I would 100% get rid of bowling. I've just never been a fan of bowling. It also just messes with my fingers, and I don't know why. I don't like it. It's weird.
What is your favorite sports memory? It could be in person. It could be you were watching it on TV. But what is your favorite sports memory?
Favorite sports memory? Wow, that is a tough one. You know what? You go first while I think. What's your favorite?
I would say my favorites, top three, goes in order. I would say my third favorite is the last KU-MU basketball game in Columbia. It was, again, the last second shot there. I believe MU won that game.
That was a good one. Thriller.
Yeah, that was a thriller. It was kind of putting a cap on the rivalry that year, obviously.
Was that the last one?
It was. I believe so. There was two. There was obviously a home and away. There was one in Lawrence and one in Columbia. But that was definitely up there. Growing up, I was an MU fan. When I realized I went to Arkansas, cutting all ties to Mizzou.
Good call.
And that actually brings to my second favorite memory. When Arkansas beat LSU for the boot, and the student section rushed the field in incredibly dangerous situation.
Oh, you just helped me think of one, but keep going.
The railing snapped and collapsed. We had to jump off of the little concourse area onto the field. That was probably like a 5-foot drop, and they had bike racks down there, and the base of the bike racks were sticking straight up like spikes, so if you fell down on one, you could have easily impaled yourself. But that was a great memory going on the field after that win. And then number one, can't beat it, Royals winning the World Series in 2015. We might share a similar one in your list there, but going my entire life as a Royals fan and not even seeing a winning season, and then those last 3 years there before 13, 14, and 15, getting to see some winning baseball, going to the playoffs, and then 15 finally winning it. It was just really like a lifelong culmination of just like pent up. But it was a lot of fun, a lot of memories. I'll never forget that night.
Okay, I think I've thought of a few. Obviously, those Royals, like the Royals' victory is I don't know if they're number one, but it's up there for sure. Another one I remembered is K-State basketball game my sophomore year of college, I think. We upset KU. They were top 10, stormed the court, and that was when one of the K-State fans pushed one of the KU players in the back. So they banned court storming after that because we messed up so bad. But it was amazing. I've never rushed the court before, and it was incredible. Besides that, I don't know. I want to say like a Chiefs game, but they just lose.
It's funny because, it's obviously, as of late, they're a very successful team. They have a lot of wins. It seems like every time I go to Arrowhead, we don't win that often.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite TV show, or the TV show that you think you've rewatched the most? Or they could be separate. Yeah,
favorite TV show that I've watched the most has got to be The Office. It's just a classic. I feel like, a lot of people resonate to that. Just the typical awkward situations that you always see in that show and you can relate to in your own office life.
That's definitely the one I've seen the most too.
Absolutely. And probably my favorite TV show of all time, I would have said Game of Thrones until the very last season. That took a real hard cliff dive.
Sure did.
But yeah, it's kind of tough for me to say TV shows and stuff because I just have a wide range of likes and dislikes.
Yeah, I think I would consider The Office or Parks and Rec or maybe Brooklyn Nine-Nine even.
Yeah, all those comedies are great.
Those are my favorite shows by far. I watch them all the time. Another good one that I absolutely loved, Breaking Bad. Amazing show.
I am actually in the middle of watching that right now. First time through. First time through.
Ooh.
But no, it's been a great show. Honestly, it's very tense. Like every episode, except for the last episode that I watched. If you haven't seen it, who cares? I'm going to talk about it. It was literally about killing a fly the entire episode. I'm like, what did I just watch, man?
They make you want to keep watching them. They're so intense.
But really, though, it was those AMC shows I love. I used to love watching Walking Dead. It's got a little stale on me, but I'll still watch occasionally. But yeah, I mean, there's some proven shows on Netflix that I've loved. Obviously, HBO, great content. I could go on and on, but
it's hard for me to choose one, but there's a lot of good ones.
I'm what you would call a TV and movie connoisseur. I'm not going to be able to give you an expert opinion on them, but you can bet that I'm going to watch them regardless. I'm going to watch everything.
I would say that wraps up our first episode. That's just, we'll give them a nice taste in the pilot episode.
Just a little bit of a get to know ya.
Exactly. Just ease on in there, and then we'll get these episodes rolling. Make sure to follow us on all of our social feeds for some fire content. OMA Storm Chasers on Twitter and Omaha Storm Chasers on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for all those youths out there.
Damn youths. Make sure and rate us 5 stars on all of these reviews. Whether you think so or not, just go ahead and do it.
Exactly.
So most of our episodes are going to be about a specific subject, but we'll mix in a few other episodes, just kind of keeping you up to date with what's going on here at Warner Park. Obviously, upcoming for us is Pancakes and Presents on December 14th, but you have to RSVP by December 6th to reserve your spot. Santa will be in attendance along with some of our mascots, and it's Pancakes and Presents for a reason. You do receive a free present for your kids when you attend. There's also the Rock and Light show out in our parking lot. Hoping it'll light the way for you to come out to Warner Park more than just during the baseball season. Really cool light show. They're setting it up right now as we're recording this podcast. Hopefully you come out and drive through that. It looks like a pretty neat addition to the Warner Park parking lot. Not that there's a lot out there anyway.
It sure does. But more importantly than all of that, tune in again next week for a brand new episode of Between Two Berms.